Bobo here with BrassReel Brothers. Thanks for coming back for some more popcorn, guys. Well, if you clicked on this thumbnail, then you know what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about the comparisons of Stranger Things Season 4 and Nightmare on Elm Street, or VECNA and Freddy, the comparisons. And with me to talk about it is one of my partners, Clint. What is up, buddy? How you doing?
What's up, man?
Sweet,
I'm excited about this one because, as you know, I called you in the middle of the 4th episode and probably spoiled it for you.
You didn't spoil it for me, but you intrigued me more.
Yeah, because I'm assuming anybody who is watching this has seen all of the Stranger Things episodes, because the thing that I have enjoyed about Stranger Things is that it's constantly paying homage to the 80s and 90s, really the 80s, I guess, more than anything. But I mean, they definitely do sprinkle some other stuff in there.
Oh, big time.
But this to me is the best that Stranger Things has been this season.
Oh, I couldn't agree with you more, man. This is my favorite season, straight up.
Absolutely. And from the jump, from the very first time I saw VECNA, I thought to myself, it's Freddy. Oh my God, it's Freddy Krueger.
I can't say that I thought that from the beginning, but keep going.
Is that, you didn't look at it with like your artist eyes? Like, I sent you something that I did, like where I mashed up the two, but like, you as an artist too, you're telling me you didn't pick up on the fact that there was like very, very obvious, painfully obvious similarities? Like you didn't catch that?
Well,
even in their design?
Not necessarily, because I mean, to be honest with you, when I first saw him, I saw Skeletor from the Masters of the Universe movie made back in the late 80s.
Or maybe
Lundgren that had Frank Langella playing Skeletor, what had the cutout nose. Like that's what I immediately kind of saw.
Or maybe the bad guy in Scooby-Doo and the Boo Brothers. Oh, nice, bro.
Pink Monster, the best one out there. Rosa, Ultra Rosa. Anyways. I'm normally not a monster guy, but lately they've kind of grabbed me. Well, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there with what you were saying about him being like Freddy, or so you were comparing him to somebody else.
I said, have you ever seen the horror classic Scooby-Doo meets the Boo Brothers?
I haven't seen that one specifically, but I know that they would have got away with it too if it wouldn't have been away for their pesky little kids meddling.
Them pesky little meddling kids. Okay, so let's talk Nightmare on Elm Street comparisons. All right.
First off, I just want to say that you were right about Stranger Things season 4. I mean, and look at this little picture right. Well, first off, I think it's it's just nice. We'll put that little overlay on there for us. Boom.
I like it.
But dude, I mean, look at this. I just put Freddy in here. Didn't even try. Obviously, you can tell, but it just belongs in there.
Yeah, it really does. It really does.
It's so funny, dude. But immediately from the time that Chrissy. So, guys, if you haven't seen this, and I didn't put spoiler on the thumbnail, but we are going to be talking straight up spoilers. So
everything spoiled, all of it.
Yeah, like in fact, we're just spoiling the show. No, I literally would have thought Nightmare on Elm Street when Chrissy's walking around and starting to see things in the house. Like I would have thought it on my own, but the fact that you told me that it has Nightmare on Elm Street vibes, and as I'm watching that, like I was kind of waiting for it to creep in throughout the season. I didn't expect for it to just sort of dominate immediately and that be the theme of the show, but not in a rip-off way. It's like it's done in Stranger Things fashion to where it's being like, yes, we grew up loving Freddy. I mean, they even mentioned Freddy in the show by name.
Yeah, it's true.
And true. Michael Myers too, but
but by the time that Robert Englund shows up, like I was watching it and I thought to myself, as I'm watching it, I thought to myself, as his back's to the camera, I go, oh man, this is about to be Robert Englund, isn't it? So I like Googled to make sure he was still alive. And like when I saw that he was, it automatically popped up at that moment, Stranger Things, and I was like, I knew it.
Yeah. Well, and the way that they put him in there too, not only was it a direct, immediate to the fans being like, if you were thinking that like we were inspired by Nightmare on Elm Street a little, this is straight validation for you. That yes, we are. Here's Robert Englund. But you know what I'm saying? That's what it was, straight up. And I like that they are just not even trying to avoid or trying to slide it underneath. Like, it's not one of those things where somebody's like, man, it has Nightmare on Elm Street vibes. And somebody's like, you know what? I think you're right. It's not like that at all. It's like, fuck yeah, it's got Nightmare on Elm Street vibes. It feels like a Nightmare on Elm Street series almost.
Oh, it totally does. Even down to the fact that the kids that are being hunted and killed are the awkward ones, not the to-be porn stars that get slaughtered in the Michael Myers and Jason franchises.
Except for Chrissy. Chrissy was attractive, but she was awkward because she had baggage. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right. She was awkward. But I guess, are any of Freddy's victims? You know what?
For Freddy's victims, there seemed to be some sort of attachment to someone that had another attachment to the family that actually killed Fred Krueger as a man.
They're all counterculture. Yeah.
So like there's some connection somehow or another, whether they're connected to the insane asylum in part 3 somehow, that they were connected to, Patricia Arquette's character who, Heather Langenkamp comes in. And the only way that's really connected is because she had dealt with Freddy. So there's some sort of connection like that. But I don't know. For me, this one was, I just love that they made Stranger Things fresh.
Am I supposed to be seeing you right now? Because I can't see you.
Oh, sorry. My fault. There we go.
Okay.
I put you on first. I just like talking and showing someone else when that's just what I do. No, so I felt like Stranger Things 1 through 3, which are great. Don't get me wrong. I love it. I think they're awesome. I loved how season 1 just sort of came out of nowhere. Netflix, they don't advertise. Yeah. And it just comes out of nowhere. And it's like, dude, I've been missing this, just all this whole Goonies vibe with the It vibe and with the just ET-ish vibe, just everything. Season 2, I think is still good, but it's not, it seemed like an extension of season 1. Season 3 definitely felt like something new while being the same thing, but it was more like in those 3 seasons, they were trying to push 80s gimmick in your face, but in a fun, good way to where it was refreshing. And, you're like, oh, this nostalgia is awesome. Filling it up with hits from the 80s songs wise, like actual #1 hits that everybody knows still.
Right.
And they were, brushing on some movies occasionally. So every season implemented this stuff that was very nostalgic, that didn't try to implement the same thing from the last season, but it was still all 80s pop culture. And it was really focusing on that. So I was beginning to think at the end of season 3 that, okay, so this is kind of what Stranger Things is becoming. This is what it is. It's a gimmick, fun 80s show that has some cool, scary elements for everybody. And it's just a fun ride.
I was burnt out at the end of season 3. I didn't care anymore.
I wasn't burnt out, but I was like, this is what it is. Cool. I wasn't going to be like dying to see the next season
No, absolutely not. No.
So the reason I wanted to see the next season is just honestly, I wanted to see where they were going with it, but I didn't even watch it right away. I watched Obi-Wan first.
That's right.
But man, they realized this as showrunners. They realized they needed to change the game. And what I like is that after this season and the next season, and if they do the next season like they did season 4 with these long ass episodes, and then have these 2 epic ending episodes, then you'll actually have like season 4 and 5 will almost be equivalent runtimes to season 1 through 3 because they were shorter episodes in 1 through 3.
Do we know for a fact if they're doing a season 5?
If everywhere you look online, it says they are, and the Duffer Brothers said themselves that they had 5 seasons to do. They said this like before they even released season 3.
Man, I disagree. You see, I don't know if I believe that entirely, because I don't think that. I think they went back to the drawing board for this one 100%.
I honestly think that you're probably right, because it feels so fresh and new and different. It feels
it's amazing.
Now, you think they're ending it in July?
What do you mean? Do I think they're going to end the show?
Yeah.
No, I mean, if there's money to be made, Netflix is going to make it.
But the Duffer Brothers, I don't know if you know like who they are compared to like Sean Levy is the main executive producer of the show. He's not the creator, but he's the main producer. So he's part of the team. And he's huge at Netflix. And he actually wrote and directed The Adam Project, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah, I like that too.
He's done good for Netflix, and Hollywood is liking him a lot. And him and the Duffer Brothers are really tight. So I think that the Duffer Brothers being Netflix sort of, I mean, Stranger Things sort of being kind of like their flagship show, that and Bridgerton, I guess.
Since Kevin Spacey really trashed that for him, didn't he?
Whoa, dude. Man, that's a whole other conversation on its own, because that probably was their flagship, that and Stranger Things. But House of Cards was going to have like Oscar notoriety, and now it's just tainted with weirdo Kevin.
House of Cards, like, to be honest with you, more than just even Oscar notoriety, that show, that was the premium, like the premiere, the reason to give streaming shows a chance. Like, that was the show.
Yeah.
Like, and when they followed it up with Orange is the New Black, everybody was like, oh my God, this is like the way to go.
No, you're right. It's what it showed people that TV shows, and granted, you can't really call it TV shows anymore because it's more of like streaming shows. They're not.
It's more like it's like long movies.
They are.
Yeah.
And people finally got it through their head. It's like, oh, we can have movie quality and it be in show format, and it doesn't just go to HBO that way. Like a lot of people thought that HBO was the only one that could make movie quality shows.
Yep.
But now it's not the case, obviously. But anyways, we're getting off topic. But I agree.
We totally are.
But that's part of the hangout sessions with us, man. Oh, we got a comment. We got somebody in the comments section. Oh, look at this! Yay! All right.
Oh, it's Andrew.
Oh, who sucks worse? The guy who hadn't seen this whole season by now? I got 2 kids. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Are you? Are you?
Well, they say every joke comes from a little bit of truth, but no. No, honestly, I'm not kidding. I mean, I am kidding, because Andrew, man, that dude, between his job and his kids, and honestly, I have friends that have no responsibilities that can't make the time for me and our projects like Andrew does. So,
for sure. I mean, one thing I can say is, even though that man has job, he's got his kids, with him, he's not divorced, anything like that, doesn't have like free days like me. He still finds a way to question every single move I make daily. And I mean, I can't thank him enough for it, honestly.
Now he's going to love this. We're talking shit about him. But hey, I'm not talking shit. I'm giving you props.
No, for sure. He's going to be really excited when he hears the news that we had today. So,
we'll let you save that news for the end of the show if that's cool. It'll be a nice finisher.
I'm not.
Or are you just going to tell him?
I'm just going to tell him personally.
Oh, that's cool.
We can announce that when we get some more details coming out and everything else. And Andrew, Bobby and I got picked to do the next Star Wars movie. You're not included. That's what we're talking. No, I'm just kidding. No, okay. So let's.
By the way, I feel about Star Wars right now.
I know. I wouldn't even want it. Exactly. Like woke Obi-Wan. Did y'all talk about that in the thing? Like, I didn't even get a chance to watch it. I've been so busy.
No, we didn't talk about that. We just talked about the disappointment of him and Vader, pretty much.
Man, wasn't that like a letdown? Like,
yeah. God. But look, hey, let's get back. Let's get back to VECNA and Freddy.
Get back to it. All right, so here we go. VECNA and Freddy. First of all, the fact that VECNA is number 1 is one of the coolest fucking twists I've ever seen.
Oh, dude. So Andrew, turn this off because we're about to spoil. Hang on, let's see here. Says Andrew has left the chat. Did he type that, or did that just automatically type?
Hopefully it means he's left the chat so we can get into these spoilers.
Well, no. So I think VECNA, the twist we got at the end, I will say this. I saw it coming at a moment in that episode. Like, oh, that's VECNA. But I didn't see it coming before that episode.
Okay, so you're telling me that's kind of, by the time I got to that episode, I checked out completely and was no longer thinking critically because I was just so involved in it. And to me, that's always the mark of a good show. If you can actually take my analytical brain and shut it off because I'm so into what's going on, so that means you've like done something that's like great for me at least. And by that point, I was no longer like sizing up like, oh, I bet this is going to be this type thing, And when we find out that he was number 1, I mean, my mind just exploded. But like when it was leading through it, I was like, oh my God, it's him type thing, But like it took him getting sucked down into the pits of hell and surviving it for me to like see where it was going. And so for me, major props there. I didn't see that shit coming at all.
Yeah, I didn't either. And what I really like about the character of Vecna, like he's not like this. One of the ways I started to sort of put it together is when I started watching that guy walk around more and help when he's starting to help her out a lot more, help 11 out. I started seeing his cadence and the way he moved. And like, if you notice, Vecna's not like this fast moving, like intimidating, like buffed up. He's got this sort of like skinny man, slender walk. Obviously, his arms are hanging, and he's obviously got the things coming around his neck and all that stuff. But when he's walking, he doesn't have like a strut like The Rock would have or something. He's got a very just like walking kind of like this, like a skinny guy with his arms beside him, just like number one was. And once I started seeing that, like I was like, oh shit, wait a minute here. And then like I said, at that beginning of that episode, I'm like, this motherfucker's Vecna. And then what I really loved, which is just, I don't know if this was an accidental thing, but when they show their wrists and you see that she's number one and you see the 001 and then the 011, and it's like there's two ones and there's two zeros and they show them the opposite ways. And it's like, it makes this other sort of like, I don't know, like I don't think this is going to happen because I think they are going to have to kill Vecna. But was Vecna bad when he was human, or was he pissed just like 11?
See, that's a good question, and this is where I think that we have to look at the show and realize that at the end of the day, it's still emulating Nightmare on Elm Street. So Vecna cannot have a good quality because at the end of it, he still has to be Fred Krueger.
Yeah, right. Like one of the things that I thought was cool about the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street is when they start making even you as an audience member think that what if they killed an innocent man?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, nope. Not only was he a child killer, but he was a child raper. He was like, they almost trick you. And I thought that was cool. So what I'm trying to figure out is what is their connection to each other outside of just being from the lab? You know what I mean?
Okay, so we know that he is the child of the couple, of the Fred Krueger couple, the couple that moves into the house, you know, that kind of kickstarts all of this.
Yeah, the one that when he tells the story, you see him there. And
but they also had a daughter, right, that died, allegedly?
Allegedly, but we see her on the ground with her eyes all bled out, and she's all like...
Okay, that's true. But what if we are to discover at some point in the next season that there was another situation similar to that? We don't know where all those kids came from. All those kids could come from extremely similar situations, and maybe that's what season 5 will all be about.
Yeah, I mean, I really, with the way this show is feeling, I want another season now. Like I was
for sure, 100%.
The last one, but I want another season.
Dude, this show is like going off the charts for me right now. Like I can't wait.
It's the best news show that I've seen in a while. Like The Boys was good. The first 3 episodes was very good. But still, this is top and stuff for me right now, just because the heart, dude, it's got so much heart involved. And like when Max is running out of the portal trying to get back to the graveyard and Vecna's just like kind of watching her and throwing all this, and they're playing that song by Kate Bush, that yeah, and they're running up that hill, you know, dude, that was like, that's the best Stranger Things scene that I've seen in the series. Like as a scene, man, that was beautifully done, dude.
You just brought up another good point too. When she's running through the dreamscape, like the dreamscapes that they are building out that Vecna lives in, which I guess is technically the Upside Down. But like, it feels really Nightmare. Like all of that feels very Nightmare on Elm Street to me. And yeah, I've been watching these movies again lately. Now, when I say it feels very Nightmare on Elm Street, I'm also going to tell you that what it feels like is my least favorite of them, which is 5. But like, had 5 just had any give a fuck, like at all, injected into the making of that movie, it could have been really good, dude. Because the scenes that you go to in the actual dream world are the setups are great because it's genuinely creepy. Like Gone is the Freddy on the beach with sunglasses, like, you know, and like,
which was in part 4, right?
yes, that's part 4.
Now, I like part 4 for a lot of the visuals and everything, but there are obviously some. It's they tried to get it darker again with part 3, and
Mm-hmm.
then part 4 tried to take it away from that darkness again, which is part 5. It's really taking it away, and part 5 is where they have Amanda Krueger, right?
Part 5 is Amanda Krueger. That's the son of 1,000 maniacs or whatever.
Right. I'm trying to find. I had the poster for that somewhere. Maybe I didn't download it properly, but yeah, that's the Dream Child.
The Dream. It should have been better than it is. Like, it could have been amazing, that movie. Like, the Nightmare movies, and I mean, you know, this is something that I definitely, we're gonna need, you know, a couple of these to get through this, because
Sure.
I've been watching these movies again. Like, after, you know, watching Stranger Things, I was like, you know, I think it's time to go back and watch Nightmare, because I haven't seen them. I probably saw the Nightmare series 6 or 7 times through while I was in college. Granted, I was there for like 8 years, but still, like, I mean, you know, I still saw it probably like 6 or 7 times through, and then I've never watched them again since then.
Yeah.
So this is the first time I've seen him since then,
I've
and
seen him
like,
1,000 times.
so let's okay, let's do this then. Give me your ranking.
Okay, real before I do the ranking, let me just show you. So you see this? This is the original poster, which I love. One of the things the Nightmare movies had all the way up through part 6, even with Freddy's Dead, is they were all painted, commission painted movie posters. Like, it wasn't Photoshop stuff. They were genuinely painted, and all of them were painted by the same guy, which I thought were all beautiful.
Beautiful poster.
They didn't do that for the Friday the 13th movies. Friday the 13th movies were all done with pictures.
Well,
I
they
think
didn't have the budget for it.
right. The first 2 was like a painting, but they were shitty paintings, and after that, it was just all pictures of stuff. Halloween
Yeah.
tried to do just random things, but they were changing pace all the time. So look at this
God.
poster, and now look what I found.
Oh my God.
Isn't that awesome?
That is freaking cool.
So look, that's obviously like,
It's an homage, man.
of
Like,
course, like look at it. It's straight up an homage, man. I mean,
absolutely. There's no
so
question about it. Like, there's zero question. Like, it's like I told you. I was like, this one's obvious. Like, to me, this one's obvious.
so back to the ranking. Ranking wise, I mean, it's clear the first one is the best just because it was just so like just crazily out of left field. Horror movies were not like that.
Yeah. You
They
can't.
were fully on the slasher train, like either camp slashers or babysitter suburban slashers. Nothing like this, like
Nothing like them.
clever written character that just had so much backstory. And I mean, Freddy is the most interesting and clever of the big 3 slasher guys. You know, out of Freddy, Michael, and Jason, he is the most well written and interesting. He's not my favorite because I just have an attachment to Jason of growing up in the country, going to the summer camp just there's something there that's a little bit more a part of my actual life, going to the lake all the time. But I also grew up in a neighborhood too, and that was, you know, Freddy gets you in your dreams everywhere. I just think the whole child killer, the whole premise to who he was before he even started killing people in his dreams is just really good. So I think the first one is awesome. Oddly enough, it's the second one's probably my second favorite.
Me too.
People are weird on that one, but it's the most 80s feeling for me. The third one still has the 80s vibe, but there's something about that pool party and just Jesse, and then the dance scene when he's in his bedroom, and then the gym, the homoerotic stuff all the way through. There's something about it that works. And then I would say that 3 is probably a close second. And then I would say New Nightmare is 4th.
See, New Nightmare might be my favorite of all of them.
I love New Nightmare, but it just doesn't exist without part 1. Because the whole point of that is that Freddy, the movies are successful in that movie. Well, but that doesn't matter. It still could be your favorite movie. But for me, I'm just saying, and maybe Nightmare goes back, but the reason Nightmare isn't so up there is that there's very little death in that movie. Like, it's all about just Freddy messing with the kid and the mom. I think 2 people get killed in it.
Oh, dude, the scene though. Okay, the scariest moment in the entire Nightmare franchise is when he pops out of the closet when she's looking in it.
Oh, it's beautiful. No, I'm not saying the movie isn't scary. I'm just talking about the threat of Freddy doesn't feel quite as real to all these different people. It only feels like it's a real threat to Heather and her son, which that's the point
Right.
of the film. That is the point of the film, because it's like they conjured up this character through their writing. You know what I mean?
For sure.
That's kind of the whole point. That's how I took it. But then after that, I would say 4, 6, Freddy's dead, and then 5 is the last one. I can't really include Freddy's versus Jason in that ranking of that, or to the Jason movie, because it's just its own little party. You know what I mean?
If to me, it's like it's either 7 or 1. That's the best one to me. Like that's 1, 2 in some order. But then after that, they go in order. It's like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like, because in watching 5 again and 6 again, Freddy's Dead Freddy's Dead really might be the worst movie ever made, bro. Like, I mean, it is spectacularly terrible.
I just love some of the setups in it. Like, I love the whole Twilight Zone scene on the plane at the beginning. You know, the rip off of that, and it's like extremely tongue in cheek.
But it's so sinister that I don't think that the tongue in cheek works really well for it.
It's a comedy. There's no horror in that movie.
Yeah.
Like, part 5 still tries to implement the horror with the dam.
No, part 5 tries to go all in on horror. It tries to take away completely. Like, that director was trying to pull Freddy back to genuine horror at that
Stephen Hopkins, I think, is his name.
Yeah, and like, to me, that's what he tries to do. What Stranger Things does in this season, kind of pulling this back full circle, though, is it gives this generation a chance to see the Nightmare franchise that doesn't suck so much that it could sell spit to a sperm bank.
Well, so, I mean, do you think that I'd like to see the statistics on like streaming, like whatever Nightmare on Elm Street movies are on, what platforms are on, like the viewership on those, how much they've gone up since Stranger Things. You know, I'd really,
dude, it's gotta be massive.
Because when I looked up just images of Vecna and Freddy, people have put together so many images so far that are on Google, because everybody's feeling this way that you and I.
Absolutely.
They're like, yes, Vecna is Freddy. I mean, straight up, it's ripped it off, and not in a. And again, I must reiterate this: not in a bad way, in a phenomenal, beautiful, tasteful way that's them even acknowledging it. And I think that's the best way. If you tried to slip it past somebody, it would seem like a ripoff. But the fact that you're being like, guys, look, we love Freddy, we're trying to incorporate in Stranger Things. Then it's, all right, cool. Let's see how you do it. And then I love it, dude. It's just.
Did you get that mashup I made of the two of them?
Yeah, let me look, actually find it real quick. That is dope. That is really dope. Yep, I got it right here. Let me download it, and then we'll send this bastard right up here into the stream. We'll send this bastard ass right up into the stream.
Send it up to the stream.
We'll sit. Did you ever listen to ICP?
Yes, dude. Are you kidding me?
They had, you know how they used to do like commercials and stuff in between their shows and stuff. They had one where it was talking about it's like, Texas damn hot chili, and it's damn hot. Comes fresh with bastard bacon bits.
Oh, like, dude, I gotta show you this.
All right, here you go. Check this out, guys. Clint did this. He put this together last night. Oh, I mean, that's straight up. Like, if you blur your eyes, it looks like one character almost.
Yeah, it does.
You know what I mean?
Oh, man. Like, dude, you're talking about ICP. That's so hilarious. Let me send you this, because I've been trying to push on ABEC. See, I'm really into like this right here. This is like, okay, artistically, for those who are watching, if you're really trying to get an idea of what I'm trying to do out in my music ventures right now, album covers, videos, etc. This right here, what Stranger Things is doing, this is exactly what I'm trying to do. And like, I'm so glad you brought up ICP, because you might be, is it VOORHIE? Is that right?
VOORHIES.
And then 311?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Like, when you see this, like, you might be the only person alive who knows what I'm going for here, because everybody else I've shown it to has just been like, oh, what a cool concept, bruh. Like, nobody's gotten it, though. So what I just sent you on email is something I'm trying to pitch ABEC for one of his upcoming singles.
All right, I hadn't got it yet, so I'll come back to it in a minute.
Yeah, for sure.
You sent it to Frederick, right?
Yeah.
Frederick Voorhees 311.
Yeah, it should be coming from my secondary one.
No, that's cool.
Frederick Voorhees 311 at Gmail. Yeah. Like, I'm so glad you said that because there's definitely, this is just great Malenko through and through.
Well, while I'm waiting to get that, you said I was just going to let you know I put up some of these posters here. So, but continue. There's part 2.
That's not a painting.
You're right. That was because this was the VHS cover.
Mm-hmm.
And they did do different VHS covers. But like here we go. I can pull up the second one or try to find it. But like here's part 3.
Oh, that's one of my favorite posters ever, man.
Yeah. And hang on. I'll show you actually. This is one of my Anika figures, but this is, I got to get that down. This is part 2.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's beautiful, dude. I mean, look at that. It's just got so much going on that has nothing to do with the movie, really, but it also does. Like, what's that crow there? I mean, it's the bird, but it's not the same bird. I don't know. It's really cool.
What is your favorite? What is your favorite of? Okay, no. This is actually wait. Okay, like I keep saying, keep bringing it back here. A point that I've not driven home enough in this is how kids are getting to see an un-MTV tainted Nightmare on Elm Street series right now, because what we saw got bastardized, just like Fred Durst did eventually. Like Limp Bizkit turned corny because they had no choice because Fred Durst was ushered into Corny Town, right? So like, what these kids are getting is a much better version of Nightmare on Elm Street than we ever got. Because the scariest part of Nightmare on Elm Street, all right, the first time I ever heard about Freddy Krueger was at a Baylor football game when no one went to Baylor football games. And like, the kids were all like shoveled off to the end zone to go play with each other while the parents like watched the game or whatever. I mean, this is back when like Baylor would finish the season like 3-10, 3-9, like
shit, I don't know nothing about Baylor.
All right, bro. Well, this is the dark. This is the dark ages, right? So, like, this kid who I have no idea who he was, he told me the entire synopsis for Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3. Sitting there telling me I'd never seen a Nightmare on Elm Street movie, had no idea who Freddy Krueger was before then, went home and had nightmares for 3 or 4 days.
Just because of the story.
Just because of the story. And then I finally saw the movie and was no longer scared.
So you don't like Part 3?
I do. I mean, because the wizard guy,
like so when they get in their characters in Part 3, it gets a little cheesy at moments. I will say like that, but I like
anything with Kincaid,
The kills. Oh, dude, Kincaid was awesome, man. Lawrence Fishburne, but no, he wasn't. Lawrence Fishburne wasn't Kincaid. It was the other guy. No, but I was trying.
That was Larry Fishburne back then.
Back then, it was Larry Fishburne as one of the institution attendants. But no, yeah, Kincaid was the actual black guy that was one of the main characters who gets killed at the beginning of Part 4. I think that Part 3 has awesome kills, like when they do the wire tendon things.
Oh God, that's a classic, bro.
Yeah,
but the thing about 3 and 4 is that they're chock full of great kills.
But that's I like the story for Part 3, but Part 4 the story's not good. It's just the good kills. That's it.
The thing that sucks about Part 4 is this is where Part 4 goes wrong. They really make you believe that you are about to see a direct continuation of Part 3, and within 5 minutes have killed off all of the cast that came back.
So I didn't mind them killing all the cast members. For me,
like the discount Skeet Ulrich, she was gone so fast it was make your head spin.
Well, I discount Skeet Ulrich is funny. I think that since they went with, and for some reason I'm drawing a blank on her name, the character that Patricia Arquette is in Part 3, if they couldn't get Patricia
Alice
back, yes, no, Alice was in.
She's in Part 3 and 4.
You're right,
and she just doesn't. Patricia Arquette doesn't reprise her role.
No, I know she doesn't. But what I'm saying is they shouldn't have kept that character going, because if you can't, I immediately, because the girl that played it, her name is actually Tuesday Night. That's her
Tuesday
name.
night, yeah, exactly.
Well, she's a freaking weirdo. Sorry, I don't know if you've ever
Not
seen her in real life.
not to be confused with Tuesday morning, the store.
Yes, well, I love Tuesday mornings. You found some great deals there, good bargains.
I don't know if there's enough time.
Yeah, I just don't know if there's any good time. But I just think that immediately when I see Tuesday Night as Alice, I'm like, this isn't. I'm taken out of it because all the other characters are the same. The only time you're allowed to recast anybody in the movie and make me believe it, if it's somebody that's not so significant to the movie at that point, like it worked
Right.
when, and or if someone dies in real life. You know what I mean? Like if someone passes away, then it's sort of like, okay, we understand.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
that's a cool, we get it. But for
But
somebody to just try to like make you believe it's someone else, to me, like I
and
can't.
she wasn't. Her career wasn't doing anything because I definitely right now I'm even googling her career as we
Oh, and
speak.
she turned it down because she thought her career was about to start booming, but it really didn't. She still did some stuff, but her career didn't really boom until she started getting on television
You're right.
and doing like the medium and stuff like that. But anyways,
You're
getting off
absolutely
topic
right.
again. Uh,
It's where we live, son.
yeah, living off topic. Yeah, because everybody, uh, did you? So one of the reasons I think that Freddy
they
versus
come. They come for the subject line and stay for everything else.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, now what were you saying?
Well, and I was about to say Freddy versus Jason's, but one of the reasons that Freddy's Dead, I think, didn't do well is that one of the producers, and it was a woman, and this has nothing to do with her not directing it well or being a woman. That's not what I'm saying. But she was a producer. She wasn't a creative person. She was somebody that was keeping the wheels turning, getting money, getting investors involved, making sure that she's keeping up with trends and things like that, and then informing them on things like that. She's not someone that writes, and she's definitely not somebody that directs. Well, by the time part 6 had got there, nobody was, even though they were making money off of Freddy movies, no directors were wanting to really jump on it anymore. Like part 3, you still had like Frank Darabont helping writing the script. Like you had people doing it. Part 7, Wes Craven was his baby again, so everybody wanted to do it.
You
But
know, the only reason he did it was so that he could get financing for Scream, right?
yeah, well, yeah, he did that, and he's so he could get financing for Scream, and so he could always direct a movie that wasn't a horror movie. He had always had a dream of directing a movie that wasn't horror, and he did it for the studio. And so, because the reason, anyways, you can watch the behind the scenes on all that, which I don't know if I'll ever watch that movie because Wes Craven's horror to me. Sorry, um,
What was the movie that wasn't horror?
dude. I mean, it's so uninteresting. It's just like, like the story of us. Something, I mean, it's just like about a family, an afternoon, maybe it's like lighthearted. It's not a emotional drama. It's very much a like the Family Stone, or I don't know. It was just something that I just couldn't imagine. It's like if Quentin Tarantino's like, "Hey guys, check it out. I'm going to do a shitty ass rom-com."
I'm so mad that they didn't let him do a Star Trek movie.
Well, I just don't. I don't know if that's out of the cards completely. I think that he needs to. It would have to do with. It'd have to be something like Knights of the Old Republic, where it wasn't dealing with your main characters. Because I think that. I mean, one, we know it would be well written like a motherfucker, but I don't know. Do we need a dialogue driven Star Trek in today's world? You know what I mean? Because
I
let's face
just want to see him do something that's cool, you know? Like,
but Quentin sort of, what Quentin does is he sets standards for other people to follow. So
right.
like, and so like that's, I don't, I'd love to see him do a Star Trek film, but I'm ready to see what his last movie's going to be.
That's what I was kind of hoping. I thought that that'd be such a cool anticlimactic almost way to end his career, would be to go out with like a Star Trek movie. Like, who would have seen that coming? That's so cool.
I mean, it is cool, and yes, we all want it, and he's talked about it. He just doesn't. He doesn't think that it'll happen because I don't think the studios and him can align properly with their ideas. And
Probably
look,
right about that.
I mean, they ain't no studio going to tell Quentin what he has to do. At this
No,
point, he can do whatever he
absolutely.
wants.
I know. He's like T.I.
Well, that's one of the reasons he signed with Sony Pictures, because they're letting him do it. They literally are like, "Go make your movie. We won't even be on set." They're just
Really?
Well, that's why, because he was starting to get upset with just that whole brand of Hollywood. And I don't know if you know this now, but he's like kind of sober and shit. And he started a family, and he's gotten more into like his craft rather than being sort of this exuberant personality that also does movies.
That's
Uh,
usually when things go bad. I look at Stone Temple Pilots' last album.
well, but I think their last album didn't have Scott Weiland, but
Well, I mean, their last album was Scott Weiland.
oh, I loved it. Hang on. Sorry.
Bless you.
You're talking about Shangri-La Da?
Yeah, I didn't care for that at all.
Oh, I love that album, but I like Scott Weiland's. I don't know. I also liked Number 4. I like their other side that isn't just heavy music. But again, man, we are really getting off topic.
That's where we live, bro.
So, anyways, back to Stranger Things being Freddy. It is. I think that everything they're doing with it is exactly what this show needed. I think it's also what we needed for just horror fans in general, because man, right now there's the horror that's coming out, even the good horror that's coming out is not blowing me away. It's not making me feel like, man, this is just something else. I'm hoping Nope is going to be really cool, because Get Out did do that for me, but I'm tired of that elevated horror too. Stranger Things 4 is doing the perfect job of implementing this lore that is, you kind of have to know a little bit about, but also can fully get you just wrapped up into the story. And it's not overcomplicating it.
Yeah.
It's just swelling on something that's already there. It just all they did was gave Stranger Things a really badass new haircut and suit.
No, you're right though. That's funny, but you're right. You're right.
So
Oh, are you distracted at all by the very overt Will making moves on Mike?
It is there because he came out as an actor in real life. He came out a few years ago.
So I totally get them. I totally understand the pursuit of that. I don't understand it with Mike, because to me there is no context
alluding to why Mike would be gay.
Yeah, there's none with that, obviously, because he's obsessed with 11.
Yeah,
but I don't understand that point of the show. To me, since they're best friends and that's been set up like that, it would make way more sense if he was approaching Mike for advice on this, or coming out to him first and asking him how to handle it.
Well, maybe they are going to allude to that, and maybe he feels like he needs to tell someone and open up and come out, and he always thought Mike would be that guy, but now he feels like they're becoming distant, and maybe he feels like he has no one to actually turn to and tell. Maybe I'm just speculating.
Like that's something that I'm getting asked. That's something I'm getting asked about. Like you said, in a perfect world, a 9-year-old is not watching this show. But like,
this is the darkest season too.
You're right, but that is something that my 9-year-old has been all but very confused about. So that is something I wanted to get your advice on, or at least your insight on.
Yeah, I do see it there from Will's side for sure. I do feel like that there might be something that I think it's a possibility that maybe they could throw that into the storyline. It could be something to where like it confuses Mike's character, and then Mike has to, but you know what? I don't care. You're my brother. I love you. I'm going to come save you. That type of situation. We go through. I hope that's what
they're working towards, because
you know what I mean?
I want there to be logical jumps. The thing that I've always enjoyed about this show the most is how I felt like all the characters make believable choices constantly. And my only complaints about this season so far are that, because it's not because of the subject matter, it's because I don't believe the choice. And it makes it feel shoehorned. And as somebody whose brother is openly gay and an activist, in the LGBTQ community, I don't like when I see that. I like it to be like reality, substance. Like I like it to
not like let's shove it into the show so we can be woke.
Exactly.
Which is what Marvel has done.
Which is exactly what Marvel has done, which is disappointing, because like you can find better ways to do that,
what it feels is patronizing to that community.
That's exactly what it is.
It doesn't feel like you're being genuine and trying to be inclusive. You're trying to be like, well, let's make sure we make that community happy. And it's like, well, you're making me more pissed now.
That's the That's what it is. Good job. Good job on that call. Okay. The other thing that I don't get. Here's where this is. I It's funny because I'm sitting here saying like we can close on this and come back and talk about more later because we really haven't talked about much of anything relating to this subject, like always, man.
Well, no, we have. We've talked about how Vecna and Freddy are very similar and how these guys just really are clearly being open. Like, we love Nightmare on Elm Street, so let's show you this through Stranger Things.
The other character choice that okay, here we go. Character choice in a part of the show that bored me. Okay. Everything involving the Russia scenes has taken me out of it every time it shows it.
I prefer the stuff going on with them in Hawkins and wherever other place that they are, but Lenora, but I still like the Hopper stuff, honestly. Like, while I do prefer the stuff that's going on with them, I still do like the Hopper stuff. I think they did a good job at filming Hopper, like at the end of last season before he lost a lot of weight. And then, because obviously once they show that he's been in the prison for a while, he's way skinnier in the face and everything. And I don't know. I personally like that, but I also like the Hopper character. I think that I love
the Hopper character too. Like I just feel like okay. That's something that's
okay. So what about what's his name? Winona Ryder's buddy, who's like the badass karate guy out of nowhere. He's awesome.
I love him. He's great. Yeah. Here's the other character whose motivations do not make sense to me whatsoever, and I feel like it detracts from the show, is Lucas. Because there is no way in the world that you have survived the things he's survived and even pretend to attempt to think that what these douchebag seniors are saying is what you should roll with. That's impossible. That makes as little sense as New York forgetting that the Ghostbusters actually killed ghosts between parts 1 and 2 in those 5 years.
Yeah. All right. Well, look, I remember making some choices to be cool when I was in high school, just because
but you didn't survive the Upside Down. Like,
I mean, that's true. I mean, you're right. You're right. I definitely don't like Lucas on this show like I've liked him in the past. But he's back though, right? Like, he's back with the crew now. Now, okay, let's talk about this though. How about old boy and his speeches? That guy's hilarious. The jock is always.
Oh God, he's great, dude. He is awesome. He absolutely makes up for the fact that what's his face is dead. We only get like a small taste of him. What's his name?
Oh, the nerd?
Billy? No, Billy's dead.
Oh, I loved Billy, man. Billy was so cool. Dude. But I loved the nerd that was with Nancy that was talking to her for a little bit. The one that the second death in the show.
Yes, absolutely.
He was a smart mouth. He was great. But that's another thing, man. This show's got more casualties than the other seasons. Like, the other seasons, somebody major would kind of get killed at the end or sacrifice themselves or something. But like this one, people are dying.
And you're right.
I like that a lot. Oh, and another one, we got to talk about Eddie. Eddie's awesome.
Eddie's great.
I love him, like his character, who he is, and the fact that he's so honest with himself. He's like, apparently all I do is run now. Like, I love that he's like critical of himself because he doesn't want to be. He wants to be a tough guy. And
dude, that's really funny. You're right about him. I like him a great deal too. I don't know, man. Like,
are we gonna have? What are your predictions with Eddie? Is he gonna do something crazy? Is he gonna sacrifice himself? Are we gonna lose him just because he's cannon fodder?
Yeah, he sacrificed himself. I can see that happening. Like
Billy did, basically.
Exactly. I also think
Billy did sacrifice himself. He definitely did.
We're gonna see the death of Jonathan also, I think.
Jonathan, why am I drawing a blank on Jonathan?
Jonathan's the older brother that is also dating
with Nancy, or Nancy's not dating whatever.
Nancy's not boyfriend or whatever.
Yeah,
he's so dead, bro.
What about Steve? What if Steve dies? That would kill me.
Steve is not dead. Jonathan is.
Look at this. Hang on 1 second. Yeah, so I got this on my couch.
Ha! Dude, that's amazing. I love all the random stuff you have. It's so great, dude.
Oh, I'm pop culture nerd. Well, you said I got Dustin's hat on right now. I just wish it
Yay.
didn't have the Stranger Things. This is a pin that I put on there. I just wish it didn't have that. I could paint over it, I guess, but
Dude, I got asked by somebody that I know a couple days ago. I met him for a cup of coffee, and they were like, "Are you trying to look like Fred Durst now?"
oh, with the
Because I
back
had,
red cap.
yeah, and I thought to myself, "Damn it!" Because I was at the hat store, bro. Okay, I need
Well,
a new hat
he's
because
the one that turned that into a uniform. People been wearing
like
backwards hats forever.
right, but I guess just the fact it's red, maybe. But so here's the craziest part. Like the hat store I was in, I went in to buy a hat because it's just too hot to wear skull caps right now. And so I had to go out and find something. So I go to buy this. I was actually listening to In Together Now by Limp Bizkit and Method Man when I purchased this. So that's interesting. Maybe there was so that purchase happens with that. But what kind of kills me the most about that is I don't know if I purchased this because I was listening to that song or not now. Because there's a very strong chance that I was heavily.
It crept and stepped into your subconscious.
By the way, do you have any idea how much like a official fitted baseball cap costs now? I haven't bought one in like 15 years probably.
Yeah, like $40.
Dude, more than that. I went to like Lids, right? Like at the
Oh,
mall here.
well,
I
yeah,
went to
that's
Lids.
because you went to
It was
Lids.
$55.
Yeah, I order all my shit online. I don't. If you go to the retailer, you're gonna get screwed for sure.
Bro, I cannot believe it. I'm like,
And if
I
you
just
order
don't
online,
know.
they send a nice box and everything.
Man.
Well, hey, let's tie it up, man. This is good. I don't want us to just keep going to keep going.
Yeah, for sure.
You got anything else to say about these movies except for the
I
fact
am.
that Vecna is Freddy?
I want to do a deep dive this week on Freddy vs. Jason.
Oh, dude, we can do that.
I'm going to watch it this evening. That's the last of the Freddy movies I've got to watch, and I saved this one for last because it's been my favorite always.
Well, dude, come on. Sorry, I should have had all the Schmidt ready for you, but oh boy, look at that.
Oh, dude, that's amazing.
So yeah, I've got all kinds of like Blu-ray, multiple copies of. So Freddy versus Jason, man, that's almost one of my ones that like I watch it if I'm just like feeling down.
Well, I love Kelly Rowland in it because that's pinnacle Kelly Rowland. It's the hottest she ever looked.
Oh, Kelly Rowland has always been smoking to me. I've always never understood why. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Beyonce is gorgeous. There's no doubt. But
She
Kelly
is.
Rowland was undervalued.
Yeah, she got overlooked, and it's like not necessary because she's definitely smoking hot.
So hot, but dude, she is at peak heat in that movie, man.
Oh, I agree, and she has the she gets her nose cut off by Freddy's claws. Remember? In a
Yes,
dream.
I do.
In a dream.
Yes, in a dream. Dude, so yeah, let's I don't know what you doing tomorrow night. We could do a deep dive on it.
So well, tomorrow night, which you should be a part of.
We're doing episode 4.
No, we're doing. Well, we're going to do Jurassic World. Excuse me, Jurassic Park franchise because we're going to see Jurassic World on Thursday.
I'm going to see it on Thursday also. So
let's we're going to recap all the first 6 films or the first 5 films and just what the
name was,
all that stuff.
That's perfect. So, let's shoot for that. I've got it's either got to be in the middle of the afternoon or the evening for me.
It'll be yeah, that's fine. It'll be the evening because I think Andrew can't do it until the evening either. He wants to do it with us as well. But I was going to say one more thing. Oh yeah, so what we'll do with Obi-Wan, if that's cool, we'll wait till next week's episodes come out. So we'll do
those 2.
We'll do 4 and 5, and then we'll do 1 on the finale.
You know okay, that works. That works. Well, let's heck yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Gear up for Jurassic World. I finally figured out the password to my old Voodoo account, so I'm gonna watch the The
you'd had downloaded, loaded, whatever, all on through Voodoo.
Yeah, I told you I refused to pay more money for Fallen Kingdom. Like, I didn't like it that much.
Well, we'll talk about it tomorrow, but there's lots of it that I do like, and there's lots of it that I hate.
Well, I can't wait to hear it.
Dude, thanks for joining me on this as always, though. This is awesome, man. And also, this is a badass pick you did of VECNA Freddy.
Thanks, man.
Freckna? Vetty?
Freckna. Vetty. Ooh, Eddie Vetty.
Yeah, Freddy. That's funny. All right, man. Well, hey, I'll holler at you. And congratulations again on the news. Text right, Andrew in the group about it.
I will, man. Later.
All right, man. Later. Guys, thank y'all for joining us. I appreciate that. I know we were just kind of just rambling about a bunch of stuff, but hey, that's what we do. But we did talk about the Nightmare on Elm Street and Stranger Things, how it's definitely they're pulling from all this stuff together and make it similar. You can tell that they love it all. So yeah, there it is. Guys, thank you so much. Click on this video if you liked it. And if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button so you can help us make it to the top. And as always, if life gives you lemons, make some hot, fresh popcorns. Wow.